When God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Greetings. Welcome back to Subversive Preacher. This is a sermon for Trinity Sunday, and obviously we have the reading from Genesis, the first chapter of Genesis, the first of two creation stories in the book of Genesis. And we also have in today's lectionary readings from the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus' sort of farewell as he wanders off into the great blue yonder. So really, we have a kind of grand sweep from prehistoric Earth all the way up to the moment that Jesus disappears for good, at least for now and as far as we know. Then, if we take the next leap from Jesus' departure all the way to Trinity Sunday 2023, we have a vast expanse of time from the human perspective, and we can see the kind of theological theme or the arc of the human story from the Christian point of view, which is that God creates, and what God creates is good. It's not only good, but according to that story in the first chapter of Genesis, it is good, 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 and good. That's 6 goods. Except that Wednesday, for some reason, is good, good. Maybe God was anticipating hump day, I don't know. Anyway, the human story begins with a good creation and good human beings, both made male and female in God's image, which can only be good, right? And then the story turns. A tear or a weed, an invasive species, somehow got sown into the good creation and bad stuff started happening. God tried again. He wiped the chalkboard clean and started over again with one family. But doggone it, the same thing started happening. God decided to let it play out that time and see what happened. And then God decided to intervene here and there and pretty soon everywhere. But the earth became a hot mess because of those humans, the ones who were created in the divine image. Think about that for a minute. Anyway, God sent some messengers, but they were ignored. So finally, God sent the messenger, and he was killed. And finally, God imparted breath that began it all. That breath, that wind that blew over the face of the waters. Need guidance to do better, folks? Open yourself to that wind. It blows where it will, but you can catch the wind of it. And that pretty much brings us to now, at least from the perspective of that Christian theological story. I left out some details, of course, but the theme is there. It's bleeding through time. Theologians will argue about whether God got it wrong or intentionally wanted us to work harder at being good. And they will argue that all kinds of things. They will argue about all kinds of things when it comes to that final messenger and whether he got it right and whether he's coming back to finish the job, and if so, how and when. But still, that basic outline that I just told you is the narrative of Christianity. And it's interesting to me how true it is. I don't mean factual, as in God really did thus and thus. I mean it's true, and that it just about wraps up the human experience. We have this exceptionally magnificent creation, stunning beyond words. From the exquisite interdependence that's invisible to the undiscerning eye, woven into the most elemental fabrics of the universe, to the big vista values of oceans and mountains and stars. The creation is good, 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 good. And then it comes to human beings that we love, the human beings we like to hang out with. We think, hey, human beings aren't so bad, we're pretty good. But take a couple steps outside the front door, and we don't have to go far until we meet those other human beings. They're not so good, we think to ourselves. God, why did you create them? Can't you fix them? And then before we know it, Russia's bombing Ukraine, and competing generals pit their armies against one another in Sudan. George Floyd is suffocated, and children are massacred in Uvalde. On top of that, the magnificent, stunning earth is beginning to show signs of wear and tear around the edges, and toxins and mining and carbon loading. And now we beg for divine intervention again, and for that messenger to come back and make it all right. The story we tell is actually the one that we're living out. Which came first, the story or the experience? Our story includes the imagined solution named in today's ending of Matthew's Gospel. Go out, make all nations Christian, and baptize everyone you meet. Oh, and don't forget to obey everything I told you. So the history of Christianity is really the colonization of the earth as far as empire could reach. Baptizing people, whether they wanted it or not. But as for doing what Jesus commanded, not so much. Even after all this time, we are still back at square one. The earth and the creation is good, and good. But we are something less than good. And everything God and we have tried hasn't worked to make us any better. So what are we to do in 2023? Do we need a new story? Is there a story out there that will make us better? That will help us to become part of that good? Frankly, I think our traditional theological story, at least the way I'm trying to say it, is just fine. But it depends upon how we frame it. I think of it this way. We were created good, not perfect. We were never intended to be perfect. And the earth is not perfect either. There are things that happen naturally that do not create the optimum situation for life, and that in fact bring about extinctions even without human beings. We were created good, and with the ability to discern between good and bad. Now that is a powerful skill. It's a superpower even, one that we take for granted until it suddenly goes missing. The ability to discern between good and bad, to even detail the criteria of what makes something good and define what is bad. That's an amazing ability. How many creatures in the universe have that power? Not many, I would guess. While we look at the mess that we've made because we know it to be bad and wish it were only good, the ability to discern and to choose for ourselves is a gift. We should never wish that gift away. There are no credible stories out there that tell us how to be only good, because we were not created to be perfect. So instead, Jesus gave us a story about how to manage our badness while nourishing our good. How to manage our badness while nourishing our good. Included in that story is accessing the resource of the wind. The wind that swept over the waters, in our efforts to manage the bad while nourishing the good will also sweep within us. It's truly a powerful story, brimming with wisdom that is stunning, and as the dark dawn slowly weeping into light. It doesn't get us perfection because we weren't made for that. So we should not go looking for stories that offer perfection. They aren't real. I know we feel despair. We feel despair for the badness that we've created and the badness that we've been saddled with. But despair is a filter we choose, not one that we are condemned to wear. As the poem we had today says, darkness is a part of our story, and it has its own wisdom to reveal. And so we must not insist on only the light of day. We must navigate the darkness as somehow part of the good. Well, that's enough storytelling, but let's remember, the story we tell matters. What story we tell to ourselves and about ourselves and to others, those stories really matter. So across this vast expanse of time that we have traveled, from the very beginning when we were created male and female in the divine image, all the way to Uvalde, our task is to manage the bad and nourish the good. As Jesus prayed, we are to create a new and holy kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. But remember, it will never get built. It will never get built to be perfect. It will always be just good. And I wish you plenty of just good and some peace. Thank you.